Hello, welcome to my LP of Chaos Gate. I'm Jade Star, and I'm just excited to play this game. It is a turn-based strategy game in sort of the new XCOM style. It's very cool, and it is, very flavorful of the Warhammer universe. I'm not a big Warhammer expert or player. I know a little bit of Blood Bowl, and that's about it. But this game still really sells me. It's very fun. So we're going to set up a fresh game here. Once I select the proper save slot, I'm going to play this on the Ruthless difficulty, the third out of 4 difficulties. Not quite the hardest, but you can see there the difficulty on Legendary. It is doable. I've played it. It's just less fun, and I feel like I'll make a better LP on Ruthless as usual. I am turning Iron Man off because I'm going to crash or something's going to happen, knowing my luck. And the tutorial is turned off. That's slightly meaningful. It gives you a little bit more background into where the game starts. The summary could be that we just completed a campaign against Khorne, and the previous commander of the ship was slain in the process. And now I'm going to be quiet because there are just a ton of cutscenes in this first episode, and I'll see you on the other side.
Baleful Edict. In the name of the God Emperor.
Dominus, who is this interloper?
Code scrapings indicate an inquisitorial transmission.
Baleful Edict. Prepare for my arrival.
Duty calls, Commander. We should open a Vox link.
Inquisitorial vessel. Permission granted to come aboard.
God Emperor, I found you. I must commandeer this vessel at once.
Impossible. We are bound for Titan. The edict cries out for repair.
The tech priest speaks the truth, Inquisitor. Our last crusade bled us dry.
I'm not blind, Knight. But heresy does not operate at our convenience. My destination is Khorne Prime, within this very system. Not such a taxing journey, I'd expect.
And what is it that you hope to find there?
This.
Beneath rotting skies, the air thickens with a world's final breath. Seeds planted in flesh and bone, watered with blood and tears. A warrior alone in the garden of a grinning god.
These are scraps of astropathic whimsy.
There's more.
It grows. It spreads. A great dispersal upon the etheric wind. The bloom proliferating. First, then Khorne, then world after world. Its roots spread from an ancient veil. Inquisitor, hear me! Hear me! Hear me! Who tends the garden?
The astropath sacrificed himself to send that message.
Now you understand why we must investigate.
Commander, we cannot risk further damage to this vessel.
It is the chapter ship, Dominus. The Inquisitor has every right to request our support.
It is not a request.
Commander, with your leave, we will set our course for this Khorne Prime.
Yes. Good. That will do for now.
Report. Signals from quarantine beacons detected in the upper atmosphere, but the surface itself is silent.
Plague, Commander. Send your squad to the surface.
Knights of Titan, you are the instrument of the Emperor's will. Make planetfall and discover if the Inquisitor's fears are founded.
Hi, I'm back. So, here we are deploying for the first mission. We get a little bit of a look at the character building screen and the equipment. Iolanthus here is a survivor of the tutorial, which was not shown, so he gets a level up at the start of the game. Much like XCOM, actually, there are 4 basic soldier classes, and we are supplied with one of each for this starting mission. They are Justicars, which are sort of your, I don't know, defenders, tank units. Purgators or Purgators, however you want to pronounce that. I've gotten some comments about that, which are your ranged specialists. They are, by default, one of the only ones that can equip a two-handed weapon here, such as the Psy Cannon or Silencer. They can go Stormbolter and hand-to-hand like anybody else, but it seems like a waste. Interceptors are your fast strikers. The backpack on their back is a short-range teleporter, which provides the vast majority of their abilities and versatility, and an apothecary for healing. Pretty self-explanatory. They are your least combat capable characters, but they're a necessity for either utility or just keeping your Marines alive. There we go, we've done a little bit of equipping. This was the option to have like the pre-order DLC weapons available in the startup screen. Really, it's just a couple of my guys have a 5% crit chance now. Oh yes, I still also love the Medicae skulls. They are basically our health packs in floating skull form.
Commander, have your men look for signs of this plague.
Be vigilant, brothers.
And here we are in the first mission proper.
Moving now. Chaos stirs within the
So one thing this game does similarly but different to XCOM is that the enemies are out there in the Shroud, and they patrol. At least most of them do. And unlike XCOM, where you just blindly reveal them and then combat happens on that turn, Chaos Gate does 2 things I think are really great game design. At least in this regard. It does a lot of things I think are great game design. Here, we have a marker in the Shroud that says, essentially, we know where the enemy pod is. I think it's an abstraction rather than an actual definite reality, but it lets you know that you're about to reveal a pod. And when we get closer, here we are. Now, the second thing is, you will maybe have noticed that I used all my action points getting to the point where I revealed them. I had actually spent all 3 action points on all 4 of my Marines to get to this activation. In XCOM, I might be out of actions at this point. However, in Chaos Gate, when you go from out of combat to in combat, everybody's AP refreshes. So now all 4 of my Marines have their full turn available to them. The enemies get their usual scramble into cover, and combat starts on a, I don't know how to say it, like fresh foot, like just an absolute even setting. It is my full AP versus their full AP. This can be quite important. It no longer means that you might stumble into a pod with your last action. Also, I love the destructible terrain. You will no longer stumble into a pod with your last action, and have the enemy then be able to scramble, you be out of actions, and then your people made vulnerable. Combat always starts on this, like, even footing. Another important thing is that there's 3 action points, and shooting does not end your turn. So I was able to move to a position to be able to shoot something, shoot it, and then move into cover. So there's a lot more flexibility with that system, rather than XCOM, where it is solely 2 actions, and shooting almost always ends your turn.
In bloodshed we save.
And I'm trying to explain mechanics, but also this game is just
Standing ready.
visceral in a way. It's satisfying blowing up cultists, and I love the voice work for them and everything.
My blade is yours. On my way.
One of the downsides this has that doesn't apply in combat, but out of combat, you noticed I had to move my guys one at a time, and every time I clicked them to move, the UI went away. Unlike in XCOM 2, where you can move units ahead of time or simultaneously when you're out of combat, that is unfortunately not available to me in Chaos Gate. It slows down the out of combat sections a little bit. It's unfortunate, but it's not like a huge problem. And here's the Overwatch cone. So Overwatch works drastically different in Chaos Gate than it does in XCOM. It is not a 360-degree arc, and it is also not even as far as the weapon's normal maximum range. The bolter and the side cannon can reach 10 tiles of range. Overwatch only goes to about 7. So Overwatch is a very narrow cone, either 30 or 45 degrees, and only out to about 70% of the range of the weapon, which makes Overwatch greatly diminished in value most of the time. Against ranged enemies like these, it can be almost useless. It can be quite strong against melee enemies, because despite its limitations, it has a strength or 2. Overwatch will fire as many shots as you have AP when you entered Overwatch, and also have the ammo for. So if I have 3 AP and I have 3 ammo loaded in my bolt gun, my Overwatch cone can fire 3 times. And that can be very, very strong. I am playing this round suboptimally to demonstrate another important thing about Overwatch, or in this case, suppression fire from the enemy, is that shooting them does not remove the suppression Overwatch on my Apothecary. Ranged attacks will not break out Overwatch or suppression abilities. Now, melee will, which your Interceptor is going to excel at in the early game. Now, their heavy gunner is also dead, but if he had lived, his suppression would no longer be affecting my Apothecary. Here's another quick thing to learn. When combat ends in Chaos Gate, it ends immediately upon the death of the last enemy that is active. Every knight will immediately regain full AP, and will reload their weapons as well. So what I'm doing there is I'm moving a couple of my people towards the next place we need to go, so they're further up ahead. So when the Apothecary secures this kill, the 2 knights farthest top left now can actually move farther. This can sometimes matter in maps where you have a lot of ground to cover. Here it's not so much. I am demonstrating the UI now. One of my pet peeves of this game is that the UI on the bottom left will show vital information. Units' health as a kind of the winged symbol. Units' willpower, which is used to power abilities from everything from 4 strikes to the teleport to the Apothecary's heal. And their action point total. Also very important to keep track of. To the right of the action point icon, the very last thing is a sword with an infinite symbol under it.
What is your will?
For some reason, the design decision was made that it would show the ammo count for their melee weapon as the default UI. There is no melee weapon that requires reloads or animation or anything. I do not know why that is there. At no point in time does this actually ever present me useful information. I'll hold up a sec for the characters here.
Wait, that creature.
Inquisitor, we have seen the dead walk in this way before.
As have I. Poxwalkers are evidence of warp corruption. This is no natural plague.
So, at no point in time do I need to know that my melee swords do not run out of ammo. However, my Justicar, Apothecary, and Purgator, who... wait, no. Whatever. But at any point in time, I might want to actually know the ammo count of my units that rely on guns. And for some reason, that information is not default available. It shows now when I'm selecting a ranged ability, like Overwatch, or actually targeting for an attack. But until I do that, it shows me that my melee have an infinite amount of ammo, which is just the stupidest information to show.
I will need to examine this corpse and...
I will not tolerate this contamination spreading into my circuit halls.
Do not obstruct me, Tech. I will follow proper protocols.
See them fall, brothers.
So as I mentioned, Overwatch can be incredibly powerful against melees. They will run into it, and they will get shot and die. This is the ability the Poxwalkers use to raise shit corpses. All of these guys have like 1 health and deal 1 damage. They're complete garbage. But they can swarm you. They are something you have to deal with. And they're not worth willpower when you kill them, I don't believe. That is another balancing thing. I'm going to have so many mechanics to go over. Willpower, the thing that powers your special abilities, is replenished by killing things.
I have sanctified my mouth.
For instance, I'm about to use a willpower ability here to absolutely level these guys.
Satisfactory effort. Now return with my carcass so I can set to work.
We will deliver them to you as soon as containment is properly confirmed and sanctified.
Be swift about it. If this plague has already spread beyond this planet, then we will have far more ground to cover.
And there we go, our first mission complete. I have very briefly rushed through some of the most pertinent mechanics I saw during the video. There will be in-depth discussions on these things later as need be. And here is our victory screen and rewards. Some of these things will come into effect later, but for right now, we just get our experience and we are good to go. And that is it for this video. More things will be unlocking very rapidly in the next video, and I'm gonna have to go boot up the walk-in freezer and find my co-commentator. I will see you then, and thank you all for watching.